Whoa! Welcome to Mouth Dancing, episode 38, or maybe 39, with your host, Young. Thanks for tuning in. This is a very, very special Christmas episode, because the holidays are just right around the corner. Like next weekend, in fact. By the time you hear this, it'll be the weekend coming up. So, very extra special episode, and I know you're all feeling very excited, because it's time for some eggnog, hang out with your relatives, and eat lots of food. Maybe, I don't know, get drunk, and open presents, and watch Christmas movies, and be nice to people for that one time of the year when people are nicer to each other because it's Christmas or something like that. Christmas and then New Year's. New Year's is a very, how should I put this? Very lackluster holiday, but let's save that for another time. Let's celebrate the Christmas festive feelings that we're all having right now. Because that's what this is all about. It's about Christmas. And Santa Claus. And elves. And candy canes. And ham. And meeting your relatives for one time a year. Because you don't really see them that often. Because you don't necessarily want to. And then that one time you see them during Christmas, it reminds you of why you don't really see them that often, because you don't really like them. But anyway, that's besides the point. We're here to have a good time. Ho, ho, ho. And Merry Christmas. And Home Alone. You guys remember that movie? With Kevin? What was his last name in that movie? Was it McAllister? I think that's what it was. Something like that. Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. You guys know what I'm talking about. Right? Because that's what I'm talking about. Christmas time. What kind of gifts do you think you're going to get? I don't really care about gifts anymore, because I'm an adult now, I'm not a kid. I don't need to get the latest toy, you know. I don't need to see that under the Christmas tree or whatever. But I was going to talk about Christmas food. Seems like the holidays are a time of just consuming tons of calories that, I don't know, you don't necessarily need. It's just the time of year when you do, like, Thanksgiving, for instance, you eat a huge meal, and you just keep eating all day, and then for a while you eat the leftovers, and all the food is really high in calories. Christmas food and snacks and things like that are really high in calories too. And it seems like this time of year there's just tons of food around all the time, right? Like candy and cookies and pies and cakes. I don't know, there's just so much more food around, I feel like. And you just snack on it, all day, and then you get fat. I know that happens to me, like, the first part of me that gets fat is my face. Like, if I'm consuming excess calories, the first place where you'll see it on me is my face. It gets bigger and rounder and more swollen. And then I start getting like a double chin. I know a lot of people will probably look at me and say, I mean, you're not really fat, but I can tell, especially when I take my shirt off, and my wife can tell. And she's even said to me, you need to cut back on the potato chips because you're getting a double chin. And I was like, yeah, and it was true. My hair was kind of hiding it though, because my hair was pretty long. So I was kind of getting away with it, and I wore hats a lot. But then when I look in the mirror, I don't have much of a chin anymore. It's kind of depressing, I don't like that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to cut back on the potato chips. And I haven't really been eating as much potato chips since that time. But, that gets kind of derailed sometimes by things like Christmas or Thanksgiving. Or I'll just go through a couple weeks where I'm just eating way more snacks than usual for some reason. I'm craving them or I just feel hungry. But yeah, and then Christmas you got gravy and you got mashed potatoes and you got candy canes and you got Christmas cookies. Like all the stores are stocked full of cookies, and then when you're grocery shopping, they're too tempting to pass up sometimes, and then you get, I'll just get one box of these, and then you eat the whole thing in one sitting. And then that just keeps happening week after week until you get to New Year's and you're like, oh, my New Year's resolution is to exercise more and lose weight. Well, maybe you wouldn't need to make that resolution if you didn't eat so much around Christmas time and Thanksgiving, right? And then you feel guilty and you punish yourself. And then I don't know, I think I heard a lot of times New Year's resolutions don't last through the whole year, Probably most of it is people, they just lose that holiday weight and they're like, okay, that's good enough, and then they stop exercising or whatever. So maybe on Christmas we should start serving healthy, like gluten-free snacks and stuff like that, or like fat-free and sugar-free stuff like that. But everyone knows that stuff doesn't taste that good. That's why it's not as popular. So, what's the solution here? What can we do about this? Maybe nothing. Maybe we just need to give in to the fact that around this time of year, every year, we're going to get fatter. And just enjoy it, right? And then just work your ass off for the month of January the next year and to burn it all off and then start the cycle anew the next year. I guess that's one way of approaching it. I have no problem with that. Ho, ho, ho. Noel. Happy holidays. Oh yeah, some people get really mad if you say happy holidays. They're like, no, it's Merry Christmas. Well, what if you're not against Christmas, but you're just saying it because you want to cover all your bases, like Christmas and New Year's too, and you're just saying it all at once. But some people still get offended. They want you to just say Merry Christmas. So then you have to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year separately. You can't just say Happy Holidays because you might offend these people who get all uptight about saying Christmas because, I don't know, the liberals or whatever are stopping them from saying Christmas, and it's their free speech, right? I guess, you could possibly have Jewish friends too, right? Or people who don't celebrate Christmas. Like, I don't know that many Jewish people. I know, like, a few. And I think most of them partake in Christmas for the most part. Or at least, even if they do the traditional Jewish stuff, they still entertain Christmas a little bit, because their friends are not Jewish. So I don't know what's the big deal about saying Happy Holidays. Maybe some people just say it to be polite to their friends who don't celebrate Christmas. What's the big deal? It's not like Christmas is getting banned or anything like that. I'd say the majority of people I know celebrate it, and no one's like out there protesting it or anything. It's so weird how people get all angry about stuff like that. I think it's maybe because they've been listening to too much like angry conservative radio shows or TV shows where the hosts make their living basically off getting people riled up about stuff that's pretty much non-existent. Like the whole premise of their show is just like, I don't know, straw men basically. Like, remember around the time of 9/11 and then like the decade and a half after that, everyone was like really paranoid about Muslims and constantly freaking out about it. But now it's like you never hear anyone talking about that anymore. You never hear people talking about terrorists or Muslims and freaking out about it, really. At least not as much. So, I don't know, it's pretty obvious at this point that it was just like a manufactured thing, right? They just made it up. And they made a whole bunch of money off of like scaring people with that stuff. And I don't know, just getting everyone riled up about it. But now it seems to be they moved on to like China. So China is the new enemy and Chinese people are bad and China's a bad country. That seems to be the new fad, right? And everyone's worked up about it. They're brainwashing everyone again just with a new country or new enemy. They moved on from Muslims and Islam to China and communism. And I don't know. The other day, a guy on Fox News said, we need more people in the military who want to like sit on top of a mountain of Chinese skulls or something like that. This is just straight up genocidal rhetoric, you know. That could literally get people killed. I mean, around the time after 9/11, Muslims and even people who aren't Muslim, like Indian people, were getting attacked in America and even killed. And it's because of stupid shows like that. That could easily happen again. I mean, it is happening. People are attacking Asians in America right now because of COVID and because of all the stuff in the news about how China's really bad. And most Americans don't really know the difference anyway. They just see an Asian person and we're all Chinese to them, right? I mean, I remember when I lived in New York, a lot of people, they would just refer to Asians as Chinese people. They didn't... It's like the only thing they knew about Asia was China, and anyone who looks Asian is Chinese, I guess. They're like, oh, they would see an Asian person and say, oh, you see that Chinese guy over there? They wouldn't even know if he was actually Chinese or not, but that's just what they called him. So, I don't know. You got the same thing happening now. It's just moved on to a different group of people. I don't think that's a very good message to spread around the time of the holidays, right? That's not the message of peace and understanding you want to be spreading. So just cut it out, fellas, at Fox News. Make your living off of getting people pissed off about nothing, basically. Paranoid, scared Americans who don't know much about the outside world. I don't know, at the same time, can you blame them? I guess you can. If you're the type of person who'll take advantage of people's ignorance and stupidity like politicians do and certain public figures do, even knowing that what you're doing is made up, that's kind of like, you consider it entertainment of some sort. The stuff you're doing is still actually resulting in real world violence, you know? So maybe just cut it out. But that's not going to happen. These people are psychos and they've always been around and they'll always be around. And people like me gotta deal with the fucking consequences of it. Anyway, let's get back to the Christmas theme. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Santa Claus is kind of a weird guy. Kind of creepy, right? He's got like a big beard and he's fat. And he gives you gifts. And he knows what all the kids have been doing. Whether they've been good or bad. And he goes down your chimney. That's kind of weird. He sounds like some sort of a voyeur or like a burglar, doesn't he? And then he comes in your house and eats cookies and drinks milk. Maybe that's why he's so fat. He's eating cookies and drinking milk at every house he stops at. It's kind of an insane amount of calories. I don't even know how his sleigh gets off the ground or how he squeezes through a chimney. But I guess he's also sort of like a magical figure, right? He seems supernatural in a lot of ways. But he's also like just a regular fat grandpa. He's all jolly. And he's got elves in the North Pole. Does he pay his elves? Or like what's the situation there? Are they just doing it for fun? Or for free? They must get some sort of reimbursement, right? Like why would you just make toys all year round? That sounds kind of like a sweatshop, doesn't it? Are elves like the original sweatshop employees? And then Mrs. Claus, what does she do? She doesn't fly around with Santa on Christmas Eve to deliver gifts, does she? So she just kind of like, is she like a housewife? Does she like cook for all the elves and stuff, or what? Or maybe she makes toys too. Maybe she's on the assembly line there with the elves. Man, Santa Claus is a real slave driver, isn't he? He makes these reindeer fly him around the world. You know, that's a lot of work. He makes elves make toys for all the kids in the world. And Mrs. Claus has to like cook dinner for all these elves and for Santa Claus. I guess the reindeer too, right? I don't really know how things work up there at the North Pole, but like, what do the reindeer eat and who takes care of them? Does Santa Claus do it? Yeah, what does Santa Claus do the rest of the year when he's not delivering toys? Is he just keeping his list of naughty and good children? Or maybe he's kind of like directing the factory where the toys are being made? I'm not sure about that. Maybe there's like a book about the North Pole, you know, that tells you all the details. Kind of curious. And then he also, I don't know, he's like at every mall in the country to take pictures with kids. Santa's kind of a weird guy. I guess maybe I'm looking at it too negatively. Maybe I should think of it more positively. He's a nice guy, I guess. But why does he only give gifts once a year? Why not all year round? I guess if he did it all year, it wouldn't be special anymore, right? Christmas wouldn't feel very special. And it seems like he really likes cold weather. Why doesn't he move his workshop to like, I don't know, Hawaii or something? I don't see why he can't be somewhere warm. Why does he have to be at the North Pole? And then it's like really hard to send letters to him because the address is weird. And they probably don't have very many mail trucks going up there all the time. I propose Santa relocate to Hawaii so we have more access to him, and probably be better for him in his old age too to be somewhere warm. And I bet the elves and Mrs. Claus would like it too. Not sure about the reindeer though. I don't know if they like it in hot climates. Maybe that's why he's at the North Pole. Because the reindeer, that's where they're from and they need to be somewhere cold. I think I just solved a mystery. And that's what this podcast is all about. Solving mysteries like reindeer and the location of the North Pole and what Santa Claus and the elves and Mrs. Claus do all year round. That's what this is all about. That's why I'm here. Thanks so much for listening again. I love you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. And Happy New Year. See you next time. Bye-bye.